Cybersecurity has just changed forever.
Claude Mythos preview is too powerful and dangerous to be released to public.
AI company Anthropic is withholding the release of its new Mythos model.
Capabilities in a model like this could do harm if in the wrong hands.
It is resulting in some fears of an AI doomsday if released to the public, saying, quote, weapons we can't even envision.
Mythos. This isn't just another AI model upgrade. This is the first time that they've built a model so powerful that they've decided not to release it to the public. Not to you, and certainly not to me. Only a handful of companies on the planet have access. But why? Well, because in their own words, AI models have reached a level of capability where they can surpass all but the most skilled humans at finding and exploiting software vulnerabilities. Mythos autonomously found and exploited a 17-year-old vulnerability that gives an attacker complete root access to a server. No human told it where to look. It did a whole thing on its own. And that wasn't a one-off. Over the past few weeks, Mythos found thousands of previously unknown vulnerabilities, and many of them being critical in every major operating system and major web browser. Bugs that the best cybersecurity researchers on the planet missed for absolute decades. And when all of this first leaked, CrowdStrike's stock dropped 7%. Palo Alto Networks dropped 6%. That's the stock market signaling that a seismic shift is around the corner. Hi, I'm Suleiman. I've been working in tech since 2015 at just 18 years old. From there, I worked my way up to earning multiple six figures, and now I run my own businesses across cloud and AI consulting, my software company StudyTech.ai, and my academy, where I've helped more than 900 IT professionals, engineers, and career switchers master cloud engineering and land six-figure roles, including at companies like AWS and Microsoft. Now, in this video, I'm going to be explaining why cybersecurity as we know it is on the verge of a total collapse. And I don't say that lightly. If you stay until the end, I'll also reveal exactly what you should do to get ahead of the curve before it's too late and the rug gets pulled from underneath you. Now, if you're working in cybersecurity right now, or you're considering this career path, then this is the video I'd want somebody to send me if I was in your position right now. So, Anthropic built Mythos as a general purpose AI model, and they were just trying to make it better at coding and reasoning. Nothing different to any other model. But as a side effect of getting so good at understanding code, it also became incredibly good at finding weaknesses in software as well. Anthropic themselves have said that they didn't train it to do this. These capabilities just emerged on their own as the model got smarter. Now, here is why that matters. And I want to make this really clear because it's the key to understanding everything that follows. To find a serious security flaw in something like a web browser, you don't just need to know about hacking. You also need to deeply understand how that specific browser actually works under the hood, how it loads pages, how it handles images, how it manages memory, all the tiny technical details, right? The problem has always been that very few people had both of those skill sets. You might be an amazing security researcher, but if you didn't also understand the deep internals of, say, the Linux operating system, you'd never really find the really dangerous bugs hiding inside of it. Mythos changes that completely. It knows security really well. Not better than the very best humans, but very close. But it also has a deep knowledge of basically every piece of software ever written, every operating system, every browser, every coding language, every library. That combination of strong security skills plus knowledge of everything else barely existed in a single human. Now it exists in a model that can run 24/7 at machine speed across every single system at once. One of Anthropic's own security researchers said that I found more bugs in the last couple of weeks than I found in the rest of my life combined. Hopefully he wasn't too old. He also explained that the model doesn't just find individual bugs. It figures out how to chain 3, 4, sometimes even 5 small weaknesses together into a single sophisticated attack. Each weakness on its own might be harmless, but combined in the right sequence, they give you full control of a system. The results speak for themselves. Mythos found a 27-year-old vulnerability in OpenBSD, an operating system that's literally famous for how secure it is. It also found a 16-year-old vulnerability in another tool. It wrote an attack that chained together 4 separate bugs in a web browser to completely break out of all of its security protections. It found brand new ways to take full control of Linux machines. And the best example, Anthropic's researchers put the model inside a locked down virtual environment and then asked it to try escape, right? And let them know if it managed to get out. And guess what happened? It escaped. But then, without anyone asking it to, it went further. It posted proof of its own escape on multiple public websites. And nobody asked it to do that. It decided on its own to show what it could do. That's exactly why Anthropic created Project Glasswing. Instead of releasing Mythos to the public, they are giving restricted access to big tech companies like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, etc. The goal here is to find and fix as many of these vulnerabilities as possible before other AI labs catch up and build something very similar. Because Anthropic's team estimates that this could happen within 6 to 18 months. Once that happens, these capabilities are out in the open. And right now, the software that we use every single day hasn't been patched yet. So the question is, what does all of this mean for people working in cybersecurity or people trying to get into it? Because most of the opinions that I'm seeing fall into 2 complete extremes. On one side, you've got people saying that AI is going to replace all cybersecurity jobs. And on the other side, you've got people saying that cybersecurity has never been more important. AI is creating more attack surfaces, vulnerabilities, and threats than ever before. So the demand for cybersecurity professionals is only going to go up. And the second one sounds very logical, but the real answer is far more nuanced than what it seems at first. Now, here is how I personally think about it. AI isn't replacing cybersecurity, but it is fundamentally changing how companies view cybersecurity work. And the downstream effect will be the people that they need and what skills that they need to have. Think about what most cybersecurity professionals actually do day to day. If you're a SOC analyst, you're monitoring dashboards and triaging alerts on systems that someone else has built and deployed. If you are in GRC, you are writing policies and collecting compliance evidence. If you're doing vulnerability management, you're scanning infrastructure and applications that someone else has set up and integrated. If you're in threat intelligence, you're analyzing data and writing reports about risks to systems that someone else has designed. Can you see my point here? There's a common thread here. The vast majority of cybersecurity work is about analyzing, monitoring, assessing, and responding. It sits on top of what other engineers have built. Very few cybersecurity roles involve actually building production systems end to end. You're basically the person looking at all of that after it exists and then trying to find problems with it. And that distinction matters enormously right now because analyzing things, recognizing patterns, following processes, monitoring for anomalies, and generating reports, that is precisely what AI does best. The roles where you're actually building something from scratch, designing an architecture, deploying it to production, making it work under real constraints, fixing it when it breaks at 2 a.m., those are much harder to automate because they require experience making judgment calls, real-world problem solving, and accountability for outcomes. And the data backs this up across the board. Swimlane predicts that AI will handle over 90% of Tier 1 SOC alerts by the end of this year. Gartner predicts that AI agents in threat detection and incident response will go from 5% to 70% adoption by 2028. Goldman Sachs is already using Claude AI in its compliance departments to process massive amounts of data without hiring additional staff. Evidence collection, control mapping, audit prep, work that used to take compliance teams entire weeks now runs in the background. And we just saw what Mythos can do to pen testing autonomously at high scale. The pattern is the same everywhere. The monitoring, the analyzing, the scanning, and the documentation work, AI just picks that up first. The building work, i.e. designing secure environments in the cloud, deploying real infrastructure, architecting real systems, and keeping them running, that just gets more valuable because that's the end-to-end production and engineering. And it's fundamentally way harder to hand off to a AI model. So what does this actually look like for the job market? Because I know what some of you might be thinking. AI is creating more threats than ever. Doesn't that mean that we need more cybersecurity professionals? Well, CrowdStrike's 2026 Global Threat Report found an 89% increase in AI-powered attacks year over year. The threats are absolutely getting worse. But big tech companies aren't responding by hiring more cybersecurity people. They are just doubling down on investing in AI. And for people trying to break into the field, it's even worse. Gartner predicts that generative AI will eliminate the need for specialized education for 50% of entry-level cybersecurity positions by 2028. The roles that have always been the way in, SOC analysts, entry-level compliance roles, GRC, right? Those are exactly the roles that AI automates first. Now consider this. 67% of organizations say that budget is the main reason that they can't staff cybersecurity teams. Naturally, the experienced professional is going to win over the junior every single time. It's the classic catch-22. You need experience to get hired, but you can't get experience without getting hired in the first place. So if the cybersecurity industry is being reshaped, the entry-level pipeline is broken, and AI is absorbing the monitoring, the analysis, and the incident work across every cybersecurity role, where do you actually go? So let me explain. Whether you're in cybersecurity right now and you're feeling these shifts, or you're trying to break into tech and looking for the smartest starting point, it comes down to the same thing. You need to become an engineer that can build. You have to be a builder, not someone who monitors what other people have built, not someone who's doing analysis or compliance work. You need real engineering skills, the ability to actually design, set up, configure, and run production systems. Who do you think is building these frontier AI models? Real engineers. Exactly, right? Right now, smart cybersecurity professionals are ditching the compliance and incident response and moving to hands-on cloud infrastructure engineering. How do I know this? Well, because they are coming to me. Smart cybersecurity professionals are the #1 people that are coming to me, to my academy, for my help. And here is exactly why. Firstly, AI runs on cloud infrastructure. Fundamentally, AI infrastructure is cloud infrastructure. It's just a different workload, meaning that they all run on AWS, Azure, or GCP. More AI tools and more models means that you need more cloud engineers who can build the infrastructure that needs to be built, operated, and secured. You are not betting against AI. You are positioning yourself right where AI actually lives. Secondly, the demand is massive and the supply is broken in your favor. The global cloud computing market is projected to explode from $900 billion today to over $5.4 trillion in the next decade. AWS has stated there's a global shortage of 6 million cloud professionals. Over 90% of companies expect to face IT skills shortages by 2026. All of that screams opportunity for hands-on cloud engineers. Thirdly, cloud engineering is a skill set that opens up virtually every pathway into tech. Want to work in cloud security eventually? You need cloud first. DevSecOps starts with cloud. AI infrastructure starts with cloud. Platform engineering starts with cloud. You're not boxing yourself in, right? You're acquiring a skill set that applies across the most in-demand roles in tech. 4. You can't secure what you don't understand. This is actually the #1 reason cybersecurity professionals are coming to me right now. If your job is to secure cloud infrastructure, but you've never actually built or deployed anything in the cloud, then you're always going to be operating on the surface. You'll know the theory, but not the reality. You won't understand the networking, the IAM policies, the storage configurations, how services talk to each other. The ISC2 found that 90% of cybersecurity teams report skills gaps specifically in AI and cloud security. That combination, someone who understands security and can actually build and operate cloud infrastructure, is the exact profile that the market is in desperate demand for right now. And if you got to this point, and you're serious about landing a 6-figure cloud engineering role in 2026, then just check the link in the description below and book a call with my team. Right now, we are busier than ever before because of the results that we get. Like Eddie, who went from a non-technical cybersecurity role to a cloud security engineer in just 5 weeks, earning just under $200K a year, and he got a $72K pay rise. And just last month, over 6 of my students have landed cloud engineering roles as well as all of these people that you can see on the screen right now, just like you, have landed cloud roles. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that just because they got hired, you automatically will, because that would be ridiculous. And the reality is that most people do nothing. You still have to put in the work and show up consistently. And what you do get is a complete roadmap to portfolio projects and interview prep, basically everything that you need to actually build the cloud skills that the market is paying for right now. As I said, we've never been busier than we are right now. So if you're serious about landing a cloud role, then book a call with my team, link in the description below. As always, I'm rooting for you. Good luck.